Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started.
I do not drink coffee.
Guess what, folks? Guess what? Yes, I am not in my office. I'm not in the studio broadcasting. However, we are still broadcasting and we are still here. And welcome if you're joining us. Welcome if you're in the future. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the abundance in the world. And today we're going to be talking about circumstances, challenging and otherwise, with Jenny Gold. Jenny, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? Is it true that you guys are getting monsoon rains out there?
Yeah, we have the monsoons. It was I woke up, I don't know what time it was. It was dark 30 and I could hear thunder.
Me too.
And it was really raining. However, I had to take mom mom fell a little while ago, so she has to go in for surgery to get her airway cleaned, her nose and her airway needed a little bit of work on it. So
I was wondering this morning, I was hoping that she hadn't fallen again. I was like, wait.
No, we're all good. We're all good. It was just, I pulled in the parking lot, but I didn't have any cell signal, so I couldn't connect. So I had to go someplace else. So it's like, okay. And the point is Jenny,
and there we are.
We can always figure it out. We don't need to necessarily have to figure out all the things all the time, but we are here right now.
I just lost you because we did the swirlies on both sides. You did, and I did too. But that's okay because we both do lives. And so now I get the swirly. So I'm just like, okay, so we're going to reconnect in a minute. Monsoon mother.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
So for those that may not know you or not be aware of you or haven't met you yet, we're going to be talking about your journey and some of the things that, you've gone through, you're going through, you're continuing to work through. But I want to know a little bit about your background and who Jenny is, because you've done some amazing things in your career.
You know what?
You've had a lot of things going on.
Really quick, Russ, I'm really sorry, but we just cut out for about 45 seconds, so I don't know what you're saying. We did the swirlies again.
Oh, you had the squirrelies.
I think you did too.
I didn't have it on my site.
Oh, you didn't? We had it on your site too. Oh.
Not on my side. So just pretend it doesn't happen.
I know exactly, because I don't know what you were saying. I was like, and you? And I was like, I did what? So I started saying, hey, Howard. Hey, Marsha. Hey. I'm like, if anybody can hear me. Hey, Steve. Hi, Jimmy Jam.
Yeah. Everybody's here. Everybody's in the party.
I know.
And
it's great.
So for those that may not have met you yet, give us a snapshot of who you are, and then we'll talk about your journey, okay? Are you locked up? Oh, this is not cool. You there? Can you hear me?
And so we're going to talk about my story. No, I could not.
Yeah, talk about your story. You're breaking up.
Again. I know. I just don't know why. So,
okay.
Anyway, so we can start over. Anyway, my name is Jenny Gold. I reside right now in Denver, Colorado. And I wanted to talk with Russ today because the first time he had me on was in February. And I was like, I don't know who I am. Obviously, I know who I am. But yeah, so I just want to talk to people about autoimmune diseases and how they're a roller coaster. And as a lot. So I started on Zoom and I was interviewing some vendors because I took Tim's sauce. And my whole mission right now is to let people discuss their autoimmune diseases because I have so many of them and I know how difficult it is. So that's what I'm doing right now. But backing up, Russ and I met through Howard Kaufman. And because I'm in marketing too. I've been in marketing for 38 plus years. Well, 30 years, but I've had Lyme for over 38 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, how did you come to have Lyme disease?
Well, that's
Do you know what the origin was?
Yeah, it was a Lyme.
Huh?
It was a tick. What's interesting is that we know I was bit in Mexico in Acapulco, but we didn't know that's what it was. So I was misdiagnosed for 2 years. Now, was I bit in boarding school on a camping trip that I thought I had to go on because everybody else was doing it? That's when I started getting sick, but we didn't really know that that's what it was. We just thought, oh, she's just tired. Oh, she gets the flu. Not the flu, but she gets sinus infections, like these kind of crazy things. And they kept calling my parents saying, she had to skip a couple of classes again today because she's not feeling well. But nobody's like connecting that because back in 87, was 85, people weren't talking about Lyme disease. So that wasn't something that was on the radar.
Well, it's really early on because a lot of people, they don't understand autoimmune disease, and they weren't really sure of how, because they were treating the symptoms, not the cause.
Right.
And my mom has, fibromyalgia, and she's had a lot of different sensitivities and things like that. And every time you go to a doctor that's not familiar with your history, it seems like they're diagnosing something else. But so from that, what has been your journey from that point on? I mean, you've been educating yourself the entire process going along through this journey. So talk a little bit about that and what people need to understand about autoimmune disease.
Well, it's really interesting that you just brought that up with your mom, is that people that have Lyme, but they don't know that they have it, they think they might have it because now it's a lot more prominent, but they are misdiagnosed, just like your mom. Well, your mom isn't misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia, but what they typically tell Lyme patients, you have Rocky Mountain spotted fever or you have arthritis. And people don't even know that arthritis is an autoimmune disease, right? So you got Rocky Mountain spotted fever, or you have arthritis.
Which she has had. My mother has had Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
She has?
Yes.
Yeah. So what's interesting is it really Lyme? Because a lot of Lyme patients actually they've been diagnosed with Rocky Mountain spotted fever because a lot of the symptoms are the same. Ankylospondylitis, that's what my dad had. I don't think they ever told him that was an autoimmune disease. I didn't even know that was. RA, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, lupus, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome. That most people are diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia if the doctors are like, but it looks like that. And they put them on some crazy medication, and they don't even know if that's what it really is because there's so many different things that can happen with those illnesses, all these illnesses. So, and cancer. I didn't know that cancer was an autoimmune disease until I started looking into what exactly autoimmune diseases were. And, yeah, so I have interviewed so many people, not so many people, but a lot of people on my show, right? I've only had the live show for 2 months, but I've talked to people who had cervical cancer who healed their cervical cancer on their own. I've talked to people who have MS and they've healed their MS for the most part on their own. So rather than going down the pharmaceutical path, which is fine. I'm not telling people not to get chemo. I'm not telling people not to have radiation, not to get what you need to do for your illnesses. I would never do that because I'm not a doctor or a nurse, number one, right? But I've probably been tested for most of these illnesses. And what did they come up with? I just had 4 MRI.
We're frozen. If you can hear me now. You've had 4 MRIs?
I get them all the time because I get new doctors and they're like, I want to have my own MRIs. I'm like, I know you guys know I'm on Medicare, but seriously, 4 more MRIs. That's a long time to be an MRI machine. And Steve Sullivan,
Yeah,
I have the bacon too. I told the caregiver, not caregiver, to make sure I had bacon over here. So,
well, we should say hello to a few people here.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say.
Absolutely.
Martin is here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Martin,
so
thanks
much.
for coming. Mm-hmm.
Brendan, let's go, Russ. Awesome. Howard says, good morning, drive safely. I'm in a parking lot and I was just chasing cell service. That's what it is. It's like,
I was like,
okay.
there's a squirrely again. Can you guys hear me? That's what I kept saying. I'm like, so anyway, I'll just keep talking. You guys know I'm good at that. So
Jimmy Jam, morning. Hope
Yay.
you're wonderful in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Sullivan, Jenny and Russ. Yeah, Steve was actually scheduled for this and he had to travel. And so Jenny says, hey, can I take his spot? And I said, sure, come on aboard. It's like,
I'm ready to tell my story now. You're like, oh, really? Yeah.
Good morning, Russ and Jenny and the Pirates. Awesome. Elise, thank you so much for being here. Marsh is here. Hello to both of you from Las Vegas. Ecom. Fantastic.
Marsha, look what I have.
Congratulations.
Look what I have, Marsha.
Woohoo.
Woo. I almost took that to the hospital yesterday. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Say, so look at this. I got to share with you.
Oh,
so,
you know what? I actually have that too. But do you have is this the same size? So I have that one too. I haven't put it on my phone yet. I should have though yesterday.
That's fantastic. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So Martin says, been missing your lives, Russ. So happy I caught this, especially with Jenny Gold. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Martin. Mm-hmm. And you can catch all the replays at russjohns.com/pirate broadcast. So
and on YouTube.
If you ever want to, and on YouTube, and on Twitter, and on Facebook, and on LinkedIn.
Subscribe to his YouTube page and mine.
Yes.
I'll just throw
Pirates
mine into.
Yes. Wendy says Pirates adjust their sales. Absolutely. Welcome, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. E-commerce show is tremendous. Such fun. Rob Sadell, your backpack was and she went off. Was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Elise Stratton Hill, Martin says he said you were great, Jenny. So that was when you went offline momentarily. She's frozen. I want to hear all about it. You are amazing, Wendy says. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Wendy. Jorge says, hello, Pirates. Hey, Steve, you go, girl. And Martin says, did she say arthritis is an autoimmune disease? Yeah, let's dive into that. Yes, arthritis is an autoimmune disease.
And who knew?
And there's a number of different kinds of arthritis, as you know. So maybe you can expand on that, Jenny.
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, rheumatoid arthritis. My dad had ankylospondylitis. It's osteoarthritis? My mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that my mom has. There's all sorts of different types of arthritis that are autoimmune diseases. What's interesting is that I just caught Steve's comment over here that he gave up his spot for us. Yes, Steve, we talked about that. So what's interesting is there are a lot of different autoimmune diseases that are arthritis that are part of that. So any arthritis, whatever kind it is, that's an autoimmune disease. Also, diabetes. Who knew that diabetes was an autoimmune disease?
So if it's an autoimmune disease, it can be treated.
Yes, but like multiple sclerosis or MS is an autoimmune disease. And can that be treated? That's the question. So a lot of these, so a lot of these viruses or bacteria.
Come on.
It's not off again. I know. So if you change your diet, your brain, your heart, your gut, they're all connected. They're all the microbiome. And people don't know that. Don't ask your doctors about that because, what's the microbiome? They're starting to get in on it, but they still don't understand that your diet is so important. It doesn't matter if it's just diabetes, any of these illnesses. Diet is really important. And I have a lot of people I can connect you guys to if you need to work on your diet. But who wants to work on their diet?
Well, I think it's a mindset. I think you have to work on, I heard something the other day that said, people reward themselves by eating something decadent or, going out and having a treat. In reality, what it's doing is it's punishment, because it's punishing your body with, sugars and all the things that are bad for you. And I'm thinking that's a great way to think about it, because if you reframe things, you can see a new perspective. So I want to give a shout out real quick to my nephew. Good morning, Russ. Love you. Love you too, Corbin. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. His brother is now in the minor leagues, playing in a minor league baseball team right now. So it's very cool. The Washington Wild Things. It's like, very cool. And Steve says, I'm so glad to give up my spot for Jenny to tell her story. And Toya's here. Steve. Morning, subscribe. Thank you so much, Mark. Toya, I didn't know that. So continue with autoimmune disease, Jenny, because I think it's important for people to understand that it's not. It could be and might be modified by diet. It may not completely be eliminated, but it could be modified with diet. Correct?
That's true. I mean, it could be. And the thing is, I'm on a gluten-free. I know everybody's like, oh, the gluten-free diets. Well, guess what? The gluten-free and the dairy-free diets are actually helping me. Because the histamine diet, I had Linda Gatto on, and she talked about that. She talked about the other diets also. Because for every autoimmune disease, there's a different diet. Like, it just depends on the different autoimmune diseases you have. I have over 20. So it's kind of like the Lyme has made my whole composition of my body kind of change over the years. And what did I try last night? A milkshake, like a chocolate milkshake. Guess what? That went through, not to be gross, but that went through me in like 15 minutes. I was like, you can't have the dairy. You can't have the chocolate. You can't have the sugar. And people are like, what do you mean you can't have sugar? Well, sugar is just like, it feeds on these microbes. The microbes are like, oh, this is really great. And then your whole inflammation in your system goes crazy. So did I sleep well last night? No, I didn't, because I ate things that I shouldn't have been eating. And I'm really good about my diet, but I had to get a scan on my leg because they thought I had a blood clot yesterday. Well, I actually thought that last week. So I had it yesterday, and I thought, okay, I was just in the hospital getting this scan. I'm going to reward myself on the way back home, and I'm going to order a chocolate shake.
That goes my point. That goes my point. It was punishment, right?
Yeah. And you know what? It wasn't punishment. They just ran a scan on my leg. It's not like they shot me up with dye or something. We haven't all had that, but those of us with autoimmune diseases, we've gone through the crazy tests and everything. We're just like, okay, now I just want to be rewarded for getting the test done. And it was fine. Thank gosh.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And Marcia, thank you. Thank you for your prayers, and Howard and Steve and Russ, because I don't think Russ even knew. Did I tell you? That they thought I might have a blood clot from like a device that I'm wearing on my leg for drop foot. So because it was cut down, I was losing circulation. They're like, oh, now you might have a blood clot. So,
oh, great.
Yeah, I know, right? So these are all things, unfortunately, that a lot of us go through because these illnesses are not taken care of. I would like to say one thing, we're going to get into C19. I'm just saying that Lyme disease is a pandemic. It's in every single country. And our government and other governments don't want to talk about that because they don't know how to fix it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's any known cure at all for Lyme disease.
What'd you say? I'm sorry?
There's no cure for Lyme disease that I know about.
No, so right away, which is kind of a miracle if they do. Then, yeah. Oh, I just saw Marcia said something. So the thing is, if they catch it right away, which is very rare, then usually it'll be okay. But if you turn into a long hauler, like they're saying about C19, Yeah, I'm a long hauler. We don't call it that. We call it, they call it post-traumatic Lyme disease syndrome, where your body is just fighting itself. So every single thing they try to go after with these autoimmune diseases with me now, the one that they go after will kind of slow down. Now that one will slow down. The other ones will like be stunted. And then they're like, hey, guess what? That one slowed down for a minute. And then they go crazy. So it's like, there's really, I don't mean to be negative, because look, I'll be positive, but
you look
difficult.
wonderful.
Thank you.
You look wonderful. And thank you for being here and sharing this information, Jenny, because things like this are part of what makes humanity human, and the understanding and the appreciation of what challenges are out there, because we're all going through something, right? We're all going through a process, we're all going through a procedure, and we're all challenged with something in our lives. And so that's why kindness is cool,
and smiles are free.
And smiles are free.
Yes. Well, the other thing is that a lot of people don't even know that I have a walker, because my disease is no longer invisible. But on here, and I've been on, like we all have for the most part, either on a Zoom call or on StreamYard or Dub or whatever, that you're doing. Any of these things, we don't see what the person is really like. We don't know that I can't walk. We don't know that it takes 10 minutes for me to get over there, to go use the restroom, because that's what happens with me. It's affecting my nervous system. But you're right. I mean, I look fine right now. Everybody's like, oh, your hair's so cute, or your makeup. I don't wear makeup right now. But, it's kind of like, you look fine, but are you really fine? Because the invisible diseases are being covered up. They're being covered up right now by these lives and everything, because we're not in person. We're still not, you guys are, or in Arizona, you guys are like, we're just going to be live in person, right? But they're just starting to do that in Colorado again, but not really. People are still a little standoffish about going out in public and going to these big events like I used to go to. So sorry, I got a little off track.
I don't think normal will ever be the same as normal used to be, but
right.
It's a new normal. It's different. It's always changing. And the fact that we can connect online like this is amazing. And even with, in the parking lot, in the rain, talking about autoimmune disease. I mean, how crazy is that, Jenny?
I know, exactly. I mean, who would have thought? So I've really made a lot of friends in the past year. People are like, how can you have friends online? I'm like, it's just happened because I didn't want to sit in my little apartment for a year going, well, now what am I going to do? Right. But I did want to mention the reason I started Jenny's Gold Standard was because I was noticing that people are at home, especially last year, and they're depressed, they had anxiety, their PTSD for the veterans and non-veterans were all showing up again. And I thought that was really important that I started talking about that. So when I was told, what's your mission going to be? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, yeah, you do. Because you've been talking to people about this for, 4 months through the CBD products that I rub and things like that. So, so that's kind of what's happened for me. And I do have
Nick Dorsey's here.
Yeah.
Nick Dorsey posted a post the other day of a boob down in his area. It was pouring down rain. I think that it ended up being hail as well. Martin says, sending love, Jenny Gold. Thanks for speaking up and sharing that we may learn from you. You are appreciated.
And Martin, if you have any more questions, you can absolutely contact me on LinkedIn, because I know you found me there a while ago. So thank you.
And also let people know where you like to be connected. How do you like to be connected, Jenny?
So I'm under Jenny's. No one goes unscathed. Yeah.
Great show. No one goes unscathed. We all go through things. The key is is to live a fulfilled life. Absolutely, Chris Ross.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
I agree with you. Thank you for writing that. So you guys can get in touch with me on LinkedIn By the way, I now have LinkedIn Live, which is really exciting. Of course, I wrote Russ right away. I'm like, I'm on LinkedIn Live. One time. I had to apply one time. I was like, wow. So I have
but you did it. You did it, Jenny. You did it.
I know. Nancy was like, what? Took me 49 times. I'm like, well, honestly, I have 52 videos up on since last October. Since when I started this last October, on LinkedIn under Jenny's Gold Standard, or you can look under Jenny Gold, and Facebook, Jenny's Gold Standard, and Instagram, Jenny's Gold Standard, and YouTube. That's where all my videos really are. You can find them there.
Awesome.
You guys can connect. You guys can also email me at Jenny's, it's JENNYS GOLD standard @gmail.com.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's your mission? What's your intent going to be for the next number of months that you're working on this?
I think
you're going to take a break from live for a minute.
I am.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys, I'm tired. And this.
Come on back, Jenny. Come on back. If you can hear us, cell signal. Come on back.
God, there you are. We lost you. We lost each other again. I know, right? We're just like, we're having a fun time with this because we get that. Actually, I've had 57 shows since October. So I'm going to take a break because I'm really tired. It's exhausting. I mean, I love interviewing people and talking about their issues and trying to help them if I can and connect with people. Because I think it's great for people to have that connection with other people and saying, wow, I have that too, or whatever. And so I do need to take a break. I have to slow down. But if you guys know me well, I do not slow down. And that's been part of my problem. I think a lot of us in the corporate world and non-corporate world have done this, where we just, we might get sick and we might take a month or two off from work. And we go right back to what we were doing. So please take some time for yourself and
pace yourself, Jenny. Pace yourself.
So I think it's really important to listen to your body and not to society.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Honestly, because I've done that most of my life. I listened to society. Yeah. Oh, I have to work in the best corporations and I have to work on the largest accounts and the largest PR firms and advertising agencies. But in the end, all of a sudden it catches up with you.
Yeah.
So, but that's not a good way to end this. So
no.
With a
end it a little high. Let it end on a positive note.
We do. We have to end on a positive note. So where's Howard?
Yes.
We have to say hi to Howard again. Thank you, Howard.
Jimmy Jam is here. Thank you both for a great show, great discussion.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Martin says, take care of yourself. You come first always. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, Jorge.
Yes, Jorge. Jorge, definitely connect with me. Yeah. I've seen him.
We can connect other ways.
Yeah.
Great call, Jenny. Take care. We look forward to your return. Thank you so much. And pace yourself. Take time and recharge. Absolutely. Right.
And I'll tell you guys.
I don't know what.
I'm sorry?
I was going to say, go ahead. Thanks for stepping up to the plate, Jenny. That's what Corbin says.
Thank you, Corbin.
Awesome.
I think part of it too is, I want to step back, but I've only been I've been doing this, for 8-9 months, but at the same time, I've only been live for 2 months. And I'm like, well, what if people forget who I am? And I think that's what we go through, at least for me, with my life and my just being very, very involved with work. Work has come first before my health, even before my personal relationships, which is awful. And I'm feeling that now since COVID, but because everybody kind of steps back and they're like, well, who is she really? Because we don't really know her that well.
Yeah.
Because I did the surface thing with a lot of people. Yeah. So definitely connect more with people, or as much as you can. Yeah, and let them know the real you. That's for sure. So you have that support system. Yeah.
Remove the mask, right? Remove the mask.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's the hard part right now. And I've figured this stuff out since I've been sitting here in my little apartment, for a year and a half. So, I think the C-19, what do we want to call it, has brought a lot of education to everybody to think about themselves. Like, who are you really? What do you really want out of life? Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a time to reflect. It's, we've been forced to take space in our lives, and you have to reflect and have to refresh some of the things we're thinking about and what's important in our world. What's really important. And it's a challenge. So, well, we're over time, Jenny, and I know that I'll have to take a break, rest, refresh, recharge, and we'll come back and we'll have you back on again, and better connections, better day. But I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to share some of these things, because I think it's an important topic, and I think it's necessary for people to understand that, again, we're all going through something. We're all challenged with our lives and some of the things that are coming on in our lives. And so we need to make sure that we appreciate and understand what people are going through and how we can help them. So thank you, Jenny, so much.
Thank you.
Love that you're here. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for being here. And
thank you.
It's all because kindness is cool and smiles are free.
Exactly. With bacon. With bacon. Two pieces of bacon. With bacon. Yeah, that's kind of my tagline too. With bacon.
Love you all.
Love you.
Love you, Jenny.
Love you
Thank
guys.
You so
Thank
much.
you for all showing up.
You bet.
Bye. Okay.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.